Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyards. I am Takeshi Yamato, the Yardmaster, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
Yes, we're looking at one of Rod's favorite starships, the Yamato class, or Yamato 1 if you consider STO.
And I love it. For... You saw it.
Yeah. Giant FU cannon.
It's referred to as an assault phaser. You can see... And I love it.
Yeah.
The Yamato class was designed... What the The Yamato class was designed in the late 2280s as a response to starships such as the... this thing here. The Accuser class. Klingons were starting to develop some T-19 warships, and... Oh, you dare cloak. You cloak in front of the Yamato?
Anyway.
Developed to speed matters up. There were two battleship projects that were put into service, both utilizing the new popular design, the Excelsior class, as a basis. One was the Missouri class, which was developed first, and had conventional firepower,
but quite a lot of it.
There's a reason I refer to it as the Murder-O-Birth.
Yeah. The other was this thing.
The Yamato. And at the core of this thing's weapons arsenal were those two blue beams of doom. The Accuser is trolling me.
Yeah.
I do not appreciate being trolled. Decloak and fight like a man. Anyway, while the Missouri entered service first, due to being simpler, the Yamato was actually the dream of Lance Cartwright. You can guess who that is.
Yeah.
The ship, however, did not see service against the Klingons, or the Romulans for that matter, but purely in combat against the Interstellar Concordium. And after the incident at Kittimer, the ship was put in suspended animation, pending, well, investigations onto the ship's role. That said, as soon as it was discovered that the reason for this ship's existence was entirely irrelevant, the ships were put into suspended animation, and which were expected as target ships, or placed in museums. You know what, screw this, I'm just gonna talk about it.
Alright.
He has made me mad. I wanted to play with him. But he doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
to drill into us. Oops. Looks like I knocked out your power grid. Which is good for me.
Yeah. Now you can have some fun with him.
Oh yes. Now I can finally disable his impulse engines. And, you know, hack him to death.
Yeah.
I would say chomp, but that wouldn't be very Ghibli.
Yeah.
Regardless, the Yamato did not see long service. However, 2 vessels of the class were reactivated during the War. The USS Cali and USS Mars. Which brings us to Star Trek Online.
Yeah.
What would this monster look like in STO?
This thing would probably be like a dreadnought or something.
Yeesh. Look at what they did to my boat.
Yeah.
At least the torpedo launchers were damaged, not destroyed. Oh well. If there's one thing I'm happy about, it's the fact that I can finally play with the actual Yamato instead of a facsimile.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Dreadnought Cruiser. With the Spinal Lance of Doom.
Yeah. And probably a hangar bay or 2.
And probably just the one. You want carriers, that's gonna have to be the Ark Royal. Which is another one of the 6 vessels in my list of boats STO.
Yeah. Looks like he's been repairing his warp core a little bit.
I don't care. I thought he had a sensor array.
Okay, there it goes.
He's blind.
Yeah.
I can pound the crap out of him at my leisure.
Yeah.
Which I will. Because I enjoy it. Because, much like the Marine, I enjoy toying with my prey.
Yeah. So, let's get to the stats for this thing. We've already covered them, but I'll go ahead and go over it again. Entered service date is 2287, much like any other starship much like many of the other TNP era boats we've done. It's a scale 6 starship, so it has a total of 50 systems points to work with. We have comms 8, computers 8, engines 8, sensors 8, structure 9, weapons 9. Department modifiers are 1 point in command and 2 points in security. Weapons are phaser banks, phaser spinal lance, photon torpedoes, and a strength 5 tractor beam. For talents, it has command ship, improved hull integrity, and secondary reactors. For special rules, it has Gatling phasers. As a minor action, the phaser banks can be set to Gatling mode, which doubles the stress rating. And the proto-spinal lance. Spinal lances normally, this thing's spinal lance is highly experimental. Normally, when you're firing this thing, let's see. Let's see. Let me look up these basic rules for a spinal lance. Let's see. Spinal lance. Let's see. Difficulty to hit a target with a spinal lance is increased by 2. And with this one, you increase the complication range when firing the weapon. With a protospinal lance, you increase the complication range when firing the weapon by 2 as well. So, while it's just as hard, while it's still just as hard to hit a target with this thing, the increased complication range means that this thing also has some chances of going wrong. Some chances of something going wrong. Because this is experimental tech, so there should be a chance of something going wrong with it. And descriptor trait, it's fine with just the basic Federation starship. So that's pretty much it for the Yamato.
We were partially inspired to do this by, well, I suggest you go check out Twitter, specifically STO's Twitter account. You'll see hints of ships from ages past coming. And you'll soon join me.
Yeah. So, those are mostly TNG era, but Ron was inspired to do some TMP era.
After all, the recent... Oh, you trolling little bastard. I think not. Say goodbye to your shields. We were inspired primarily by the Nova class.
Yeah. The Aurora class, yeah. The Quasar got a Picard-style revamp, while the Aurora got a TMP revamp.
And what is the ultimate TMP vessel?
This thing.
Ooh. Oh, come on, that's not gonna save you. Decloak and die like a man. I mean, as much as everyone loves... That had to hurt.
Yeah. That said, your own ship's hurting a bit too.
Well, I am fighting against 4 destroyers, and just like an SFC, a bunch of ships will destroy anything, well, big.
Yeah.
Come on, let me lance you. That'll do. Bye-bye.
We will eventually do a ship. We will eventually do vids for the Aurora and the Quasar.
And that'll probably come in a week or two. Bye-bye.